Hello and welcome to the bonus episode of February 3rd, 2022. This is the Three Mouseketeers. I'm Jared.
I'm Emily.
And obviously, if you are joining us live, Amanda is not here. She is traveling. She went on a cruise. So we're happy that she's in the warm weather and we are not.
Yeah, it's pretty cold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, relative to where we live, it is pretty cold.
Texas, but yes.
Southeast Texas at that. I'm in Houston. Emily, you're not that far away from me. And yeah, it's probably in the low 30s right now. I think it's freezing.
It's like 31 degrees right now.
Okay,
That's
so
cold
technically
for here.
freezing. Anyway, so we're going to do a short and sweet. Since it's just me and Emily tonight, we decided we wanted to talk about some Disney news. I wanted to give an update first off on We Don't Talk About Bruno. So last bonus episode we talked about this song reaching number 4 on the charts. It has surpassed, and it is now number 1. So it's pretty good for a Disney soundtrack item. So I think that we're probably going to end up seeing this at least nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh, yeah.
And if not just nominated, it's probably going to win.
I would be surprised if it didn't win. And of course, like we talked about last episode, people are using it in like TikTok videos and like just, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it is really everywhere right now. So as of last week it was number 2. The peak position obviously is number 1, and it's been on the charts for 5 weeks. So to go basically not on the charts to number 1 in 5 weeks is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it's a good song, so.
I agree. All right, so there are 2 other songs that most people would think about whenever they think about the soundtrack. And the second one is Surface Pressure. This one is actually on the top 10. It is number 9 right now.
This one's my favorite.
Is it your favorite?
It is. It's my favorite, for sure.
It's really good.
Bruno, but
I think it's very relatable, and I think that's why so many people like this song too.
well, it's just so catchy too. Like it gets stuck in my head all the time. But I also see why We Don't Talk About Bruno is number 1 and ahead of it, because I mean, obviously, it's kind of like the main song for the movie. So
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, Surface Pressure was like right there, kind of at the beginning, not the first song you get, but it started the whole movie off very strong for the soundtrack.
yeah.
So this one has been on the charts for 5 weeks. Also, the last week it was number 10, so it only went up 1 spot. And obviously number 9 is the highest spot that it's been so far. We'll see if it moves up the chart anymore. But the third song, The Family Madrigal, is actually on the top 20, and it is in the 20th spot right now. And this one is really interesting because it's climbing quicker than the others. It's only been on the charts for 4 weeks, but the peak position is 20, which is where it is currently. Last week it was 43. So it's climbing pretty quickly as well.
Yeah. Well, that's just crazy that you have 3 songs from the same soundtrack in, the top of the charts.
Yeah, I know. So Amanda is with us apparently. Hey guys, how's it going,
Hi.
Amanda? Thanks for joining us.
She's
It's
with
one way
us,
or the
but-
other.
I know, she's with us, but not with us.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know how that works out, but okay. I guess we'll go with it. Why not? But I mean, I was really excited to see all 3 of these in the top 20 at least.
Yeah.
And really, really interesting that 2 of them are in the top 10.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Emily, what's your first one that you wanted to talk about?
Okay. Well, the Galactic Star Cruiser, which for people who don't know, I'm assuming everyone knows, is the new Star Wars hotel that's opening March 1st, so very quickly approaching. They are going to have a restaurant in the hotel, and apparently they're having some trouble finding wait staff to actually work at the restaurant. They're looking for specifically experienced like Disney World wait staff, and they're having trouble with that. And once I was reading more about it, I understand why they're having trouble with it, because people are hesitant to go and work there whenever it's more like a cruise ship atmosphere, and people, so as we know, the Star Cruiser, Star Wars Hotel, you only are there for 2 days. So people are there for a limited amount of time. You don't have outside guests coming in. So they're worried about tips and them not being like as much or as consistent, or, you know, there's just not as much of a turnover throughout the day, having like park guests and just like outside Orlando guests and things like that. So they're worried about that. They're also a little worried about the fact that it is a completely windowless room. So they would be working really long shifts in this kind of darker area with no sunlight and things like that. So, I mean, I feel like those are valid concerns, but that is going to leave Disney hiring less experienced wait staff, which is...
Well, you would think so, but I mean, like you said, it is kind of like a cruise atmosphere. And if somebody is trying to get out of the cruise atmosphere into something more on land, then you might see some people come in from that industry. I mean, I'm just speculating, but yeah, no, I mean, those concerns really do make a lot of sense. If there's not a whole lot of turnover of guests, then, you know, the same people might end up not tipping as well as, you know, they would in the parks.
Yeah, and it is going to be significantly less guests. There's only 100 rooms, and those people are there for the entire 2 days, you know. So like I said, you don't have those like regular park guests, people staying at other hotels, people even that just live in the area and want to go to dinner. And I feel like it's going to be a smaller group of people coming in and out. And then on top of that, I feel like I didn't see this, but I feel like you need to be kind of knowledgeable about Star Wars to work here. I don't know that it's a requirement, but it seems like you would have to kind of play into a character, and so then that's going to kind of limit the people as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I hope they can get it together, because they really don't have long before opening, and
they don't. So hopefully they get it together, for, not just for the company's sake, but also for the fans' sake, for the people who are actually going and staying.
Oh, yeah, because you're paying a lot of money to stay there, so it needs to be like the 5-star, top-of-the-line Disney experience.
Right. And if you get the guests coming out of the first couple days saying, oh, it really wasn't worth it, then that's gonna be real bad for Disney.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully they can get it squared away. I mean, even if it wasn't around for very long, Disney would still be okay, but I'm more looking at it for the fans' sake. I want them to get their money's worth and have a really good time, and service goes along with that. So
yes, you want the Disney experience, the Disney service.
You want the Star Wars experience.
That's true too, because you do have people coming and staying at this hotel that are not necessarily Disney fans, but are Star Wars fans. So that's a whole new clientele that they're bringing in for this.
And if you know Star Wars fans and how they can be sometimes, you want to make sure that they are treated the best.
Yeah.
Because they will be the first to say, oh, no, this is not correct.
I know.
Because, I mean, like our brother-in-law, Chris, he knows a lot about the lore of Star Wars. And you're going to have a lot of those people who are there first couple days who are those types of fans who know everything, and if something is off, they're going to let you know real quick. So
I agree. I hope they can convince some, experienced people to get in there.
I mean, they do have Galaxy's Edge, so there's definitely a lot of wait staff that's there that can be brought into that experience.
Yeah, they're just not wanting to.
They're not wanting to, yeah, and that's the problem. You have to make it worth their while to go and do that. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to find out what happens with that for sure. All right, the second one that I had, this is news that came out today, I think, either today or yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was today. But the Disney Wish Maiden Voyage has been delayed. So that's not great news. Obviously, I think we all kind of know what the delays are here. And I know that June 9th was the original Maiden Voyage date, but it has been pushed back to July the 14th. So it's been pushed back 6 weeks.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it really is. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to the Disney Wish. I, myself, am one of them. I don't have any vacations booked through it yet, but I mean, it is one of those things that I would like to do. So if, unfortunately, if you are on the Maiden Voyage or on one of the early voyages, then you wouldn't be hearing this from me for the first time. So they actually sent out an email letting everybody know that, unfortunately, they're going to have to push it back 6 weeks. But they also listed some other dates that are going to be affected. So there's June 9th, which was pushed back to the July 14th, which is 6 weeks. And then you have June the 14th, the 17th, 20th, the 24th, the 27th, and then July 1st, 4th, 8th, 11th, 15th, and 18th. So there's quite a few of them that have been pushed back. And yeah, that's super unfortunate, but the times are what they are. So we're kind of expecting it at this point. But I'm sure once everything is good to go, then, it's going to be the same experience that you expected.
Yeah, it's just a bummer for people who have scheduled out their, days off of work and things
Most
like
definitely.
that. And then for it to be pushed back, I'm sure it's a pain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that I did read is that the people who were on these dates were automatically switched over to the new dates, but at the same time, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that you have that time scheduled out. Maybe there's a wedding that you had already planned out soon after that or something. I don't know. There could be a lot of different reasons why people might be upset about the change of date, but hopefully it doesn't affect too many people.
Yeah. Hope not.
Would you go on the Wish? Have you looked into it since we talked about it?
I mean, I haven't seriously looked into it. I'm not gonna go and book a cruise right this second or anything.
Why not?
I mean,
Do it. I mean, Amanda is on a cruise right this minute.
I agree. I understand that. I cruise is just not something I want to do at this very moment in my life. I have
That's
some
fair.
other things that I want to do, but I definitely want to go on one in the future. So, and I think the Wish would be awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's something I want to do at some point.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I know Disney cruises are amazing. I've been on one a long time ago, and it was great, and I want to go on one now that I'm an adult, but it'll be a little while. I'll definitely make it back, though.
All right. Well, that's kind of all I had about the Disney Wish. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, obviously like I said, there was the email that came out saying, we're eagerly awaiting the ship's debut, yada, yada, yada. And that actually came from the president of the cruise line himself. So
Pretty official.
yeah. All right, Emily, what's your second one that you had?
Okay, my next one is actually a very current one. It is that the carriage rides are returning to Port Orleans Riverside tomorrow, so February 4th. And I thought that I wanted to mention this for people who have a trip booked maybe for this week or in the next couple weeks and they're staying at that resort specifically. So they've been gone for a little while, and they're making their way back, thankfully. And so a little bit more about the carriage rides. They're 25 minutes, and they can fit up to 4 adults or 2 adults and 3, they say, small children. So, and then the carriage ride costs $55, and they recommend reservations. So yeah, it's just an exciting thing that we're seeing more things opening back up. I know that especially having things to do outside of the parks, like a lot of that had been taken away. And so for the people who are not necessarily going into the parks every single day of their trip, they weren't having like a ton of stuff to do. So for them to be bringing stuff back slowly is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've never been on them, so I don't know what I was missing, unfortunately.
Me neither, but it looks like a lot of fun, and I would love to go on a carriage ride around Riverside, because Port Orleans Riverside to me is one of the prettiest like resorts grounds. So I would definitely do it. And to be honest, I mean, 25 minutes isn't that long, but I don't think $55 is, for Disney prices, that bad of a deal. So
No, I mean, you can fit how many adults?
4 adults,
4 adults.
or 2 adults and 3 small children.
Okay.
So a family, like a,
So 4 to 5 people.
yeah, like I would say an average size, family, mom, dad, kids, whatever, could fit in that. And I
Yeah.
don't think $55 is that bad of a deal.
No, I mean, $11 a person if you're fitting a family of 5.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, I don't think that's bad.
Not for
Not for Disney. No.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot you can do at Disney for cheaper.
No, exactly. So, I mean, I think, like I said, just seeing things outside of the parks returning is nice.
Yeah. I will say, I don't think you've been to Riviera yet, have you?
I have not.
I think Riviera is probably one of the prettier of the grounds.
Yeah,
If we're talking about.
I've like watched videos on it and seen pictures and stuff, obviously, and it does look very pretty. I just haven't seen it in person. And for a moderate resort and the price of Port Orleans Riverside, I feel like it's
Yeah, that's
pretty.
fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair. All right. Yeah, I know that it's kind of short and sweet tonight, but that's really all we had. We didn't have any other stuff planned. I know that we're missing Amanda. I know that she wanted to be here as well. Obviously, she is here with us on the stream. She did comment, yep, just a little bit ago. Let's see. Amanda says there isn't much at the Riviera grounds, though. You are right. There's not a whole lot there. But if you're just looking for like a nice scenic walk, I think that's a great place to go. I mean, you have the Skyliner right there. You have the murals of Rapunzel's tower and just a bunch of stuff. And you have, obviously, it's right there next to the pools and stuff. So the grounds are really nice. I do like the grounds, but Amanda is right. There's not like just a whole lot of stuff there. All right. Well, with that, we are going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you all for joining us, and be sure that you join us on our podcast. Oh, well, I guess Amanda still has more to say, and Port Orleans Riverside has won awards. Okay, that's fair. I'm not saying that Port Orleans is bad by any means, but I do like Riviera. But, I mean, Port Orleans is nice, too. Anyway, okay, that's going to do it for tonight.
All right,
So-
have a zippity-doo-dah day.
All right. See you real soon.